What if I told you that your life, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you wake up, sleep, and show up in the world, could radically change in just 30 days? No magic, no motivation speeches, just 5 simple habits. 5 quiet shifts that realign your identity from the inside out. Most people live their lives reacting to chaos, to pressure, to their past. They want change, but they wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of themselves to show up first. But what if you didn't wait? What if change wasn't something you had to chase, but something you could create daily, intentionally, quietly? This video isn't for the loud ones. It's for the ones who are tired. Tired of repeating the same day 365 times and calling it a life. Tired of breaking promises to themselves. Tired of feeling stuck in cycles they know they've outgrown. And now I ask you this. If 5 habits could rebuild your mindset, recharge your energy, and reconnect you to your purpose, would you try them? Or would you let another 30 days pass unchanged? This isn't a challenge, it's a decision. And the fact that you're here means you're ready. Let's begin.
Habit 1. Morning silence. The 5-minute reset. The world moves fast. Every morning, before you even open your eyes, it's already racing. Buzzing phones, overflowing notifications, screaming headlines, and to-do lists that suffocate your peace. And if you're not careful, you wake up and immediately lose yourself in it. But what if you didn't? What if, for just 5 minutes, you paused? No phone, no scrolling, no reacting. Just silence. Just you, your breath, and the stillness of a brand new beginning. This isn't meditation. This is remembrance. A daily act of returning to yourself before the world tries to make you forget who you are. 5 minutes of silence can anchor your entire day. It gives your nervous system space to reset, your thoughts time to breathe, and your soul a chance to speak before the noise drowns it. And in that silence, something sacred happens. You stop running, you stop performing, and for a moment, you just exist. No pressure, no proving, just presence. It may sound small, but it's in that quiet where you begin to separate who you truly are from who you've been told to be. And that single shift done daily becomes the root of lasting change. Because the world will keep demanding, but peace is something you create. 5 minutes, every morning, no matter what. Because when you begin the day on your terms, the rest of the day bends to your rhythm. This is where transformation begins.
Habit 2. Daily movement. Move to think clearly. Your body holds the truth your mind tries to forget. Every stress, every fear, every memory you didn't have time to feel, it lives in your muscles, your spine, your breath. You don't just think your emotions, you store them. And that's why you feel heavy, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We were never meant to be still for this long. Your body wasn't designed to sit in silence while your soul screams inside. But we've traded motion for comfort. We've traded aliveness for convenience. And then we wonder why we feel stuck. The truth is simple. Movement is medicine. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need perfect form, trendy gear, or even motivation. You just need to move. Walk, stretch, breathe. Feel your feet touch the ground and remember, you are alive. You are capable. You are not stuck. Every step you take shakes loose a layer of fear. Every drop of sweat becomes a drop of doubt leaving your body. And slowly, you begin to reclaim your rhythm. You start moving not to chase beauty, but to chase clarity. Because when your body flows, your mind clears. When your lungs expand, so does your vision. And when your heart beats faster, you remember you're not just surviving. You're still here, fighting, becoming. Daily movement doesn't just shift your energy. It rebuilds your relationship with yourself. You start believing again that you're strong, that you're in control, that you can do hard things. Because look, you're doing them. So move, even if it's messy, even if it's slow, even if your mind says it's pointless. Because the body always remembers what the mind tries to forget. You were born to move.
Habit 3. Intentional journaling. Unclutter the mind. Your mind is loud. Thoughts spinning, memories looping, fears whispering, dreams colliding. And most days, you carry it all, quietly, like a storm behind your eyes. You smile, you work, you go through the motions. But inside, there's clutter. Not because you're weak, but because you've been holding in too much for too long. That's where journaling comes in. Not as a task, not as a productivity hack, but as a sacred release. A safe place where no one interrupts, no one judges, and no one edits your truth. When you put pen to paper, something shifts. The noise softens, the chaos slows, and suddenly you begin to see your thoughts, not just feel them. You begin to realize you are not your overthinking. You are not your confusion. You are not your pain. You're the one watching it all unfold. Journaling doesn't fix your problems overnight, but it gives your heart a voice. It takes the invisible weight off your chest and puts it where you can see it. And when you see it, you can heal it, one page at a time.
So write, even if it's messy, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you have no idea what you're feeling. Write that too. Because the page doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be honest. You'll be surprised how many answers were already inside you. You just never gave them room to speak. So tonight, before the world steals your attention again, gift yourself 10 minutes, a pen, a page, and the truth. Because when your mind is clear, your path becomes clear. And suddenly, the next step doesn't feel so far anymore.
Habit 4. No negativity rule. Mental detox. Negativity doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. In quiet complaints, in sarcasm disguised as humor, in that silent judgment you pass on yourself every time you look in the mirror. And we absorb it, slowly, through headlines, conversations, comments, even our own inner voice. Day after day, we drink from a cup that drains us, until one day we wake up heavy and can't explain why. It's not just the world that's loud. Sometimes it's the voice in your own head. That's why this habit matters. 30 days, no complaining, no gossip, no negativity, not from others and not from yourself. It sounds small, but it's not. It's radical, because negativity is addictive, and choosing peace actively, intentionally, is a rebellion. The first few days you'll slip. You'll hear yourself say something like, "Of course this always happens to me," or "They're just lucky, I never get a break." And you'll catch it, not with guilt, but with awareness. And in that moment, you reclaim your power. You begin to choose silence over sarcasm, gratitude over complaint, understanding over assumption. And slowly, your entire energy begins to shift. People will feel it. You'll feel it. Like taking off a coat you forgot you were wearing, heavy, soaked with other people's opinions and your own self-doubt. This isn't about being fake. It's about being free. You'll start to notice the beauty you missed when you were too busy being bitter. You'll notice your thoughts becoming lighter, your conversations becoming softer, your presence becoming magnetic. And maybe the world won't change overnight, but you will. And once you shift, your world can't help but follow. So start today. No complaining, no gossip, no self-hate. Just awareness, just peace, just the version of you that you were always meant to be, but had to quiet the noise to finally hear. Habit 5. Identity-based affirmations. Speak as who you're becoming. You've tried motivation. You've tried discipline. You've tried pushing through with willpower until you burned out and fell back into the same old patterns. And maybe no one noticed, but you did. That quiet disappointment, it lingers. But here's the truth most people miss. You will never rise above the identity you believe about yourself. You don't act successful and then believe you're worthy. You believe you're worthy, and then your actions follow. That's where identity-based affirmations come in. And no, not the cheesy ones, not the I'm rich, while your account is empty. This is about alignment. Start simple, not with who you want to be in 10 years, but with who you're becoming today. You say it out loud with your chest like it's already true. Not, I will be disciplined someday, but I am someone who follows through on promises, even the ones I make to myself. Not, I hope I find confidence, but I speak, walk, and breathe like someone who belongs in every room they enter. Why? Because your subconscious listens, and it doesn't filter for reality, it responds to repetition. Say it enough, believe it deep enough, and your brain starts building your behavior around that belief. It's not delusion, it's design. Every morning, say who you are before the world tells you otherwise. Because if you don't define your identity, the world will define it for you. And that version of you will always feel like a mask. But not this time. This time, you'll write your own story. You'll speak as who you're becoming until one day you'll wake up and realize it's no longer just an affirmation. It's who you are. You didn't fake it, you formed it. So every single day for the next 30 days, speak life into your reflection. Not as a wish, but as a declaration. Because change doesn't start with action. It starts with identity. And your new identity, it begins the moment you believe it's already yours. So, here you are. 5 habits. 5 small, sacred shifts. And maybe they sound simple, too simple for the weight you carry, too quiet for the storm you've survived. But simplicity is never weakness. Simplicity is clarity. And clarity is what leads to power. In a world that sells chaos as success, you chose silence. You chose stillness. You chose to listen, not to me, but to yourself. You didn't need a new version of life. You just needed to remember the version of you that was always waiting beneath the noise, the doubt, the delay. The you that rises early, not to rush, but to reconnect. The you that moves, not for perfection, but for presence. The you that writes, not to be creative, but to be clean inside. The you that protects their peace, that speaks to their future self like they're already living it. That version, it's not far away. It's already within you. So what now? Now you commit. 30 days. Not to perfection, but to practice. Not to impress, but to evolve. Because real change doesn't announce itself. It happens quietly, consistently, And then suddenly, you don't recognize the old version of you anymore. You're not here by accident. You're listening because you're ready. And that voice inside you whispering, "Maybe I can." It's not a whisper, it's a calling. So take the first step, repeat what works, and build a life that doesn't just look good, but feels like home. This is ThinkNest, and this is where your next chapter begins.